guys, welcome back. Today we're doing a bit of a speed build, mostly so that I can tell you about the rules for Generation 8 of the Medieval Color Legacy Challenge, but also because he needs a house. And I decided, since we had the issues that we did, that we're just going to start fresh. We got a new house. It came with the title, sort of thing. Now, the color for this generation is, of course, black. The title is Baron, so of course he is the Black Baron. The rules for this generation is you must attend university. I don't specify that you need to graduate. I did let Sylvester graduate just because of the kind of sim he is, but it's not a requirement. You need to max music and dance and have that set as your one true hobby. Again, I don't specify that you need to maintain that. That may change as I play through, but for now, you just have to max it once. There needs to be a music room in the house. We need to max interest in school. I'm not entirely sure how to do that, but I want to try it, because interests are there, so let's try. You need to max all skills, which Sylvester is doing amazing at. Like, he already has so many skill points, and I think two skills max level. You must also build and own a great library community lot. This will be free to enter. It's not going to be a business per se, it's just a great library. As an elder, donate half of the family funds to university. This can kind of happen at any point, but I think once the kids are like born and child age, that's a good time for it. If you have traits, I suggest giving this sim the genius trait. And then a lot of the things that come after are related to children, so yeah, because he's, per the previous generation, Sylvester, so my Gen 8 heir, is not allowed to get married until he's an elder, which makes this a lot harder of a challenge, because everything else he can get done pretty quickly, but then there's the whole rush to get everything done before, he croaks. Because his heir will be a romance sim. All of his children have to learn to walk, talk, and use the potty. All children must learn the nursery rhyme. All children, obviously child-age sims at this point, must be skilled in the piano or the violin or the lute or just a musical instrument. All children and teens must get an A+. All children and teens must attend private school. Your sim should encourage neatness, seriousness, and activity. And your heir should have a strained relationship with all of their children, enforcing strict rules and boundaries. Because Teal Gen is concerned the family line will die out, they begin arranging marriages for all children and grandchildren as soon as they become of age. So as long as Clotilde is alive, marriages are going to be arranged very young, which could be good, could be bad. And then we'll move on to the next gen, which we're starting to get in darker colors now. We've left the pastels. And that's really all I have to say about the rules right now. I am playing a little bit ahead of time, just because I am going on a trip, so I'm recording. But yeah, I still don't know what I'm going to do for the Great Library. I'm also toying with the idea of an alien baby, but I don't think that it suits this generation. I think maybe a different generation, but I don't know. As always, I appreciate any ideas that you have. I just really love the idea that Clotilde produced the absolute opposite child as her. So she's very into luxury and wants all of the finer things in life and is indulgent and that sort of thing. And then Sylvester is like, I would have become a monk, but I'm not allowed to because of a challenge. And just for the sake of we have a new neighborhood so his siblings aren't here, we're gonna pretend that they live very far away. They all joined religious orders, so That's why we're not going to see them. That's also why there's new Sims to befriend, new nobility, that sort of thing. And yeah, there was a poll too that I ran to determine who he'll eventually marry. It has to be a grandchild of the Sims that his mom befriended, just because they're his age. So they would have already had children, and their children would have had children, so yeah. The winner was actually a tie. It was Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty. So I'm gonna have to make a grandchild for the two of them. But that's fine, because grandchild, so they can combine and then it'll all work out. Some of the other things I guess I can just talk about that I'm toying with. So the next generation's color is dark green, I can tell you that. That's gonna be a Viscount. I am very inspired by Bridgerton just because the whole Viscount thing, I don't know, it tickled me. But I like the idea of using different game mechanics. So in this generation, an interest in school. Well, for the next generation, I like the idea of, like, the heir disgracing the family with a scandal. So, the green gen, their heir, basically will cheat their reputation to be negative once they're a teen, and they have to fully get a green reputation before passing away. No, so that's wrong. Sorry, I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. No, so Green Gen's supposed to be the one that disgraces the family as a teen. Green Gen is also going to marry immediately as an adult because there was an arranged match as a teenager, but the marriage will not be consummated. They will instead become a world traveler who will have to collect all of the vacation mementos, and I'm not really sure what else, but yeah, like, I really want to mess with the vacation stuff more. But this person's very Indiana Jones, is essentially what we're going with. I'll let them be in the adventure career, we'll go on vacations, that sort of thing. And then they will have the next gen, which will be dark blue. That's an Earl. I have some ideas on that one, but not a ton. And then Generation 11 is red, and 12, of course, is purple for royalty, which is the whole point of the challenge, is you're supposed to go from being an indentured servant to being royal in 12 generations. And we will play it through to the very end of purple, but yeah, we're gonna have some fun with purple. So yeah, is there anything that I haven't, like, messed with in terms of game mechanics? Because I'm curious if I have, or if we should do more with the interests. I know I've done it with this generation, but, like, should I continue doing stuff with that? Because it is a little bit difficult, because I'm not sure how to increase those. I feel like the magazines maybe, but I also don't think that there's medieval defaults of the magazine rack. So then, like, where do we go from there? What do we do? I can't really think of anything that I'm missing within the game, or within, like, general medieval life that would suit the challenge and, you know, getting higher up on the food chain, so to speak. I don't think this gen is gonna have pets on a random note. I don't think that it suits Sylvester. He doesn't like mess. He's not into it. I just can't see him having pets. Which is good, because the Orange Gen cats were becoming eternal at this point, and so, yeah. Holy Toledo. This build took forever. And it was hard, too, because I don't have a ton of, like, solid black CC that, like, also is fun to look at. So I did do the flooring in a lot of these tiled black and white motifs, just because I just didn't want solid black everywhere. I ended up making the dining room way too big though. So I'm hoping like that'll be like also the party room. If they do happen to throw parties, that's where they will be. Because it's massive. I didn't intend for it to only be a dining room, but then whatever I intended I forgot about, so it's a dining room now. That's the space that still doesn't have flooring. And there's only really 2 bedrooms, but they're huge, and they have bathrooms, and like, it's fine. Especially because he's not even gonna get married until later in life, so like, it's okay. I don't think Clotilde thinks it's okay, but it is. Oh my gosh, I had to stop recording for a second there because I was having a coughing fit. Love that for me. If I could just stop, that would be great. I mean, I guess this one big room... Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, technically we could fit more bedrooms in here and like... Yeah, I just didn't plan that far ahead. I didn't. We'll fit them in somehow. It could be one of those ramshackle old houses. Yeah, what else is going on? I've been hosting a lot of D&D sessions recently. That's been fun. Because for whatever reason, after February, everybody kind of picked the end of March. So I've been doing that. And then I'm going on a trip, so then we're doing kind of back-to-back sessions. It's interesting, for sure. The modules definitely are saving my butt. I used to only do homebrew, like I was very particular, and then I think it was probably Stranger Things that made me realize I hadn't ever played the classic modules, so I didn't know who Vecna was. I knew who Stroud was, but like, Shroud, whatever, but I'd never played it, and I was just like, wait a minute. Which, as a side note, the amount of time that it took me to recognize the fact that Vladdy Daddy is probably named after a D&D module, unreal amount of time. But I digress. Yeah, I'm really enjoying them. I'm not playing them, I'm, you know, GMing, which I still want to say DM. GM just sounds weird. I think because I associate it with general manager, and so like I've got trauma from being a retail worker. But yeah, I'm hosting rather than being a player, and that's fine. I at least have 2 games that I don't run myself, so I don't have to always be the one running them. But it's so fun, and like all my new players, I have so much fun with them. Just watching them learn, and like the early day stress of like, I don't know what's happening, and I'm like, no. Trust the process. You will. It just takes time. Like my first group that we're almost to the point where we've been meeting for a year, and they're just now finally starting to get to the point where they're remembering certain roles or things like that, and I've started asking them how they want to kill bad guys, which has been fun, because before I would just do it myself. Because I don't want to stress people out when they're new. Like, you're learning so many things. And a lot of these people, my groups are mostly women, and they've had bad D&D experiences if they've had them. So, one girl rolled poorly on charisma and was literally told by her DM that she was no longer allowed to talk for like 10 to 15 minutes. And I was just so flabbergasted and angry. And then another player has dyslexia, so adding numbers together quickly is a problem. So she was trying to use her phone, and like the guy made fun of her for not doing it quickly enough, and got irritated. And I'm just like, I would like to know who this man is, please. No reason. I'm definitely not gonna kick him in the shins. I would never do that. And then most recently, this is not a player of mine, but my partner likes to tell everybody about it, and she's like, yeah, I wanted to play, and then they're like, well, you can just sit and watch. That's how you learn. I'm like, that is absolutely not how you learn. Because there's too much going on, and until you're doing it yourself, you're not gonna grasp it. So yeah, that's real world information, I guess, of what's going on, because all I'm doing is throwing in trees and lamenting that I don't have enough plants. Because how do you decorate a landscape for black plants besides just dead things, which I didn't want to do? You don't. That's the answer to that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this generation. Again, please let me know if there's anything that I'm not thinking about for this challenge, because the rules are not finalized yet. Would really appreciate it. And yeah. So on that note, thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, please give it a like. It really does help, and I will see you in the next one.